Hello everyone. I've created this video in response to the original um, Cocoa Programming Lesson 9 video, and the reason why I've created this video is I've wanted to add a few features to the original Cocoa Programming Lesson 9 small program that uses the pop-up button to, I think the original video just showed how to add items to the pop-up button, and it also showed how you could pull the data from the pop-up button and apply it to a label. What I've done with this video is I've um, created a way to remove items from the pop-up list after they've been added. I've added a button that will clear the label that the information from the pop-up button has been applied to. I've added the functionality of on the add a name text field. Um, I've added the ability to add that label or add that information to the pop-up just by pressing the enter key and eliminating the need to press the add button. And I've done that by tying the action of the text field to the action of the add button. They're basically both going to the same code. And on the pop-up list itself, I looked for a way to alphabetize or to sort the list of items on the pop-up list and could not find a built-in function or method to do that. So by using some arrays, I was able to come up with a way to um, sort that list, and I'm looking for some feedback related to the way that I did that. Is it a good way? Did I do everything correct? Is there some things about my code that could be done better? And that sort of thing. So I'm just going to demonstrate the program itself real quickly by pressing the run button here, and we'll build the code and um, take a look at what the modifications do in real time, and then I'm going to take a look at the code. Let's see. Not sure where it took a very long time for the code to pop up. And I'll show that by take a look at the list. Currently, the list is not alphabetized. On launch, I don't have it going through the code that does the sorting. But after I add an item, if I add my first name to the list and press enter, you'll now see that the list is now sorted in alphabetical order. And if I continue to keep adding names by either clicking the add button, still works, or if I click enter after each one, you can see I can keep adding names to the list, and add one more. You see the list now contains a sorted list, and I have an indicator here that shows how many items. This is just for me playing around with, just for informational purposes, to see if I could pull up the number of elements that are currently in the pop-up list. And I added the ability, if I wanted to take Samwise off the list, I could just click on remove. If I go back and look, I can see there's now 9 items on the list, and Samwise is gone. If I click on a name, it comes down to the label down below here. If I want to clear the label down below here, it will clear. And I believe that pretty much completes the changes that I made to the original code. So to make this change, I'm going to control click on the super pop-up button, and you can see the connections that I've made here. That the text field outlet, I'm sorry, the add action is now tied to both the round textured button and the text field. That's the way that I made it so that it could just by pressing the enter key, will complete the action of adding a label. I added a few new buttons with their actions and for removing and clearing labels. And there's a few new outlets. The pop-up count is a new outlet, and the I believe that's all that's new at this point. So if I look at the code, go to the super pop-up button header file, you'll see that I have these new outlets defined, and I also have the actions. The add action was always there. The update was for the original action for updating the label text when you click on a button in the pop-up button. But now I have a clear label, which clears the label, made a description equal to what it does, and removes an item from the pop-up list. And if I look at the implementations of these items, if I go to the, one of the things I did is in the awake from nib, I wanted to, the label that I have that shows how many items are in the pop-up list, I wanted to update the count on that after at the awake from nib. So the pop-up count set in value to the integer, the pop-up number of items, and that is a built-in. The number of items is something that can be pulled directly out of the pop-up button, and it will tell you how many items are in the list. And it was easy to display. I'm sure there's other uses for that, but I'm just displaying it. The IB action add, one of the problems I ran into is I was noticing I had the ability to enter blank labels or blank entries into the pop-up list, and the list would grow with empty entries. So I created an if statement that checks to see if the text field string value is not equal to basically an empty string, and it will only execute the code if the string is not empty in the text field label. So that's what that part does. And inside of here, it's the same as the original code where we have the pop-up and add an item with title, take the text field string value, and apply it as a new item to the pop-up. Then I'm setting the output label to the string value, and figured if you are adding a new name, you may as well automatically output it right away to the current entry that you made. And then the pop-up count, the label that at the awake from nib that I updated, I'm updating it again now because we've just added an item, and the number of items on the list should have changed. So at this point, that would have been how the original code would have been without the counter, of course, but now I wanted to find a way to sort the list, and could not find anything built into the pop-up that would automatically sort the information in the pop-up button list. So I've created an array that's called myPop, and I am setting that equal to an array with array of the item titles within pop-up. And what that does is it creates an array basically called myPop. It has each one of the item titles that are in the pop-up get added to this array. And then I found that there's a way that you could create another array that's based on myPop, and I called this one mySortedPop. And mySortedPop uses a sorted array using a selector, and the selector that I've used is localized case insensitive compare. And what that does is this creates an array that has all of the array elements of the myPop, and it makes it called mySortedPop, and that's basically my sorted list. Then I go down to this next line. I go into the pop-up, and there's a method that's called remove all items, and then there's a method to add items with titles, and you can basically add an array back into the pop-up, and it fills all of the items of the pop-up with the sorted array information. So then, after I do that, I have pop-up select item with title. The last item that we added to the list, I want to make sure that that is the one that is displayed when after the list is sorted. So I still have the information of the text field, and I'm going to take its string value. I'm going to select the item on the list that matches that text field. And after I do that, I want to actually clear the text field because I want to make that box empty so that another person could add a new entry into the list. So that is the modifications with sortation that I have for the add method. And as a new programmer, I'm just really curious if the way that I've done these arrays is correct. Should it be its own method? Should it be its own class? Should I have done something differently? I'm still really confused about where and when you put different things in the program, and the whole handling of memory, I'm still unsure about that. So I'll continue with the other items that I've updated, or that I've done, and the update action is pretty much the original update action, which would set the label's string value to the title of the selected item of the pop-up. That's no change from the original code. Then I have the action for clearing the label. That's when somebody presses the clear label button. It will set the string value to an empty string on the label, which will reveal the default text that shows you that there's going to be something appear there. And then I've added a remove button, and the action for that is down here, and it tells the pop-up to remove the item with title, and I'm looking at the pop-up button itself and the title of the selected item. So whichever item is currently displayed on the top of the list, when you click this and tell it to remove, it's actually going to remove that item based on what's currently the selected item on the list. And then I have at the same time, I'm blanking the label that's displayed the currently selected string from the pop-up, because that item doesn't exist anymore on the list. So I want to make sure that gets cleared. And I'm setting the pop-up. I'm going to check the pop-up count, or the number of items inside the pop-up, and set my pop-up count to the int value of the number of items. And I know this is just a really small program. I'm really new to Cocoa programming, and actually I'm really new to Objective-C as well. I have a little bit of a C background. So I'm really looking for help, a little bit of feedback, better ways to do this type of thing, and keep me on the right track. So I appreciate any feedback I can get, and I thank you.